Sure. Verbal, has your scan picked anything up?
Master, you have startled me. Interrupting me during this delicate operation may inadvertently lead to the corruption of my sensors. Currently, the price of Class 9 sensors for the GE3 model are available from Zerka at a rate far beyond your current revenue, so I would advise that you...
Alright, I get your point. So, what are the results of your scan? Is there anything that should warrant our interest in the Korriban Wastes?
Unfortunately, my sensors have been unable to operate at an optimum efficiency for the duration of the scan. Feedback indicates that this interference has been caused by an electrical disturbance that originates from an unknown entity within the Korriban Waste.
An unknown entity within the Korriban Wastes? Any idea what it could be?
Classification of this entity cannot be determined. I have insufficient data to perform an analysis. The precise location of this entity lies 8.05 kilometers to the west of our present location.
8.05 kilometers, that's pretty far. Farther than I've ever been. Farther than anyone has probably ever even seen. Your enthusiasm is inspiring, but I'm sure between here and your Jedi there will be plenty of things that can kill you if you let them. Don't underestimate the wastes. It'd be a big mistake. Though I guess when you're a Jedi, the impossible becomes routine.
Genchopa chawi tichok twis yun kun. Watuyama kama wona henak nek. Bugra shak kunti chiwa chawa. Dong abuk shami nonok. Ni bajoni yo lak wish. Dopayuma pasen lapti non goto.
Are we searching for the entity that was interfering with my sensors? I would like to gather enough data to perform at least a rudimentary analysis.
Korriban Wastes. Hardly my idea of paradise. Watch yourself. There's plenty of things here that can kill you if you let them.
Randi ichawa tongbola Johnny Ku. Yumo kakin cha na kwat na bon ko. Ni bajoni hachu tanga kipuna.
What? Sure.
Now, this is something I didn't expect to find. Looks like a door of some kind. Verbal, the entity you detected, are we close?
If the data gathered by my sensors is accurate, the precise location of this entity is within the vicinity of our present location.
Then I guess whatever it is lies beyond that door.
Randi ichawa tongbola Johnny Ku, Yumawama nibo lora waisha waga shichi.
This door is extremely ancient, although, if I'm not mistaken, there are signs of recent activity. Someone's definitely passed through here. Damn, locked tight. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Things were never going to be that easy. If anyone has any bright ideas, now might be the best time to share them.
Mucho shakapaka, yi ki kun no ba muladra ki chichon.
Corbin Wace. I have a bad feeling about this. Verbal, I need you to stay behind. I want some insurance in case things don't go our way.
Master, don't be irrational. If I stay here, then I cannot acquire the data I need to perform an analysis of the entity.
Fine. Let me put it to you this way. Whoever or whatever is in this structure, they will probably want to harm you, to damage your superior workmanship. So by choosing to enter the structure, you are technically choosing also to harm yourself. Wouldn't that be against your programming?
Master, your logic is correct. It would be against my programming. I will stay here then, and await further instruction.
And don't talk to any strangers while I'm gone, regardless of how many upgrades they offer you.
And so at last, you have come.
Ni bajoni yo lak wish. Dopayuma pasen lapti non goto.
You have risked much to come here, my former pupil. You have survived the trials on the residential level, you have traversed the Korriban wastes, and you have discovered this ancient temple. This temple of shadow. You were always strong in both body and spirit. It is why I chose you as my Padawan learner. Even in the moment I first met you, I could recognize the potential soaring within what was then merely a child I then chose to rescue from what would have been a fleeting life of insignificance on the streets of Slieheran. It was in your potential to become my protege, to become the greatest of Jedi, yet you became what stands before me, a shell.
Shachika ton mulaka watayuma ka wamahona nek. Ashantington unumani patoka wanakuna best chinga pala multonki.
They say fate often works in mysterious ways. I survived Terrace because I was meant to survive, because it was intended that I wake amongst the rubble born anew, a changed man. As you have become a slave to a master, equally are you a master to a slave. The Arcanian, what worth do you find in him? I merely see a man, ruled by passion, yet afraid to embrace it.
Better than a crazed Jedi. Better than a murdering Jedi.
I once told someone that choice cannot exist without consequence. If my actions serve to condemn me as a murderer, then so be it. It was necessary.
Kin kun shopeshwa bahmuli selima wanga kun bitkin.
I could no longer risk his interference, so for now I have removed him. He was an unexpected, unpredictable factor in our reunion.
Kavadumpa kapalia monapata bonanakachu. Yin kin kun no ba mule rachi kun tong na bun shanuyang.
Matilda, it is the name I gave you that would always serve to remind you of what you once were and what you have since become. Yet now you are before me. I see that what was once the child on Slieheron is now gone. In its stead is a creature that was spawned from the tragedy of the Mandalorian Wars.
Hachu apanki, jishawa anibong kasha chona si ichua byongbo joni. Minamambato mule ra, hakugri katgoda parabola.
If only you knew what I now know, would you so willingly have accepted those consequences? Do not act surprised. I know that Tilana's death made you question a great many things surrounding your role in the Mandalorian Wars. It is that part of you that manifested itself in the mining tunnels. It is the remnants of your forsaken identity.
Ni bajoni yo lak wish, dopayumas pasen lapti non goto.
This identity, it had a name, didn't it? Can you remember? Do you even know? Yes, Shana May. It is the name of the one I found on Slieheron. It is the name of the one I raised, the name of the one I trained. It is the name of the one who betrayed me, who was corrupted and then sacrificed to become a tool of war.
Ni bajoni yo lak wish, dopayumas pasen lapti non goto.
And I hold these answers. You know this. It is why you have come here. Come with me, for only together can we reclaim the identity that was sacrificed. I can give you back your purpose, your life.
Watawama muliri, kin kun chopeshwa, no ba mule raji. Jone yuturi yanchi, either bola unchi chinek, bah mulir selima wanga kun bitkin.
Unfortunate, yet it is the response I expected. I hold the answers to your questions, yet as before you react with aggression. This matters not. I am more than willing to cleanse your mind of this and all other weakness through the fires of combat. You may fight using unfamiliar Sith techniques, but at its most basic of forms, your combat style is still Ichani. You cannot defeat me. You are stronger than I had anticipated, but not strong enough. You will fall. It is inevitable.
Kipuna na bonsha. Kavadumpa kupaliaya mokarpata.
The end? This is merely the beginning.
Selima wanga kun bitkin.
The beginning of my revenge. Like you, I too am guilty of sacrifice. I am no longer the Jedi Master I once was. I will be born anew as a greater being, a being of power. What did you expect to find here? Forgiveness? You allowed the Mandalorian Wars to consume you, and as I warned, it changed you forever. You are nothing to me now.
Ni bajoni yo lak wish, Dopayumas pasen lapti non goto.
There was once power here. Ancient and timeless, it was born from the betrayals of old. That power was contained within an artifact. An artifact which was stolen from its resting place, and then in consequence of your master's actions destroyed. Yet the power contained within survived and was scattered. This place, it is more than a mere temple. It harbors a focal point for the power, a point in which its scattered remnants can be concentrated and then fused together. The process of reunification is complicated and time-consuming, yet as you can see, it has now reached a point where the power was able to once again take form and help me in my time of need. Do not perceive these beings as individuals, as any concept of identity was lost to them a millennia ago. They have no will, no ambition, and no emotion. They each serve merely as slaves to the dominant will.
Ni bajoni yo lak wish. Dopayumas pasen lapti non goto.
The ancient, timeless power. It was itself personified in the form of a single being. It is said he was once a leader, and that all who followed him as he wrought the ancient betrayals which condemned him shared his fate. But now, thanks to you and your master, both will be reborn. Akira Khan's sin and the Brotherhood of Shadow will rise again.
Kin kun shopeshwa bahmuli selima wanga kun bitkin.
You are still within the Temple of Shadow, an ancient structure from an age ago that was built to house what remained of the Brotherhood of Shadow. This is the temple's main chamber, where the focal point for the Brotherhood of Shadow's scattered power is situated.
Kipuna, bonana kichu.
I have restrained you using the Force. I assure you, Shaname, it will be for your own good.
Kipuna na bonsha. Kavadumpa kupaliaya mokarpata.
Calm yourself, Shaname. They are safe, they are secure.
Kipuna, bonana kichu.
Search your feelings, Shaname, and you will realize that I have no reason to deceive you. I speak only truth. And truth, it seems, may be the only thing left of significance in what was once a promising life. You could have become so much. Yet you became so little. You have no individuality, you have no identity, and any indication you have of free will is an illusion. Tell me, in your own words, what is your purpose?
Randi ichawa tongbola Johnny Gu. Yumawamanibo Lora Waisha Waga Shichi.
Was it your own choice to become this tool of war? Was it your own choice to follow Revan to the Mandalorian Wars and beyond? To forsake and sacrifice everything of significance in your life, including your very identity?
Kakin cha na guat na bon kon. Wanakumbes chi pala mulek tongki pa nagnonek. Tu nikton chun chun ke nemolek rabest. Wufmala nibo gurk.
But was it fate? Was it your own choice? No, you did not choose. You were chosen. It was all a manipulation which thrust you towards war, a manipulation which provoked your betrayal, and a manipulation that compelled you to sacrifice everything for a cause that wasn't even your own. And always, always behind those manipulations was Revan.
Ni bajoni yo lak wish. Dopayumas pasen lapti non goto.
Tell me, are you familiar with force bonding? It was not a concept we had covered in great depth, as I preferred to keep my tutelage focused on the arts of combat.
Tanga boksha nagnong. Kin kun shin kin. Nikin kun na bule mule raji kun. Shuni yun ni jiji aldwana. Kava volpa muli kumana.
Yes, that is what has been accepted within the Jedi Order as the links in which Force sensitives can communicate with one another through the Force. Feelings and imagery, nothing more. But what if I told you that the communication of feelings and imagery is but the beginning of what can be achieved using Force bonding? What if I told you that through Force bonding, an individual can inspire a mindless devotion within the mind of another? And what if I told you that all of this can be achieved passively without the subject even realizing they are being manipulated? Did you never wonder why so many Jedi chose to follow Revan into darkness? Revan used what was possible with Force bonding as a means to inspire loyalty in those Jedi. A loyalty towards battle, a loyalty towards the dark side.
Kipuna na bonsha. Kavadumpa kupaliaya mokarpata.
Some of the Jedi needed to be significantly manipulated, whilst others needed just a gentle push. It did not matter to Revan. The art of manipulation had already been mastered over the course of the Mandalorian Wars.
Bonana kachu, kicha badwang, wanga kumkiba bu mulera, kakin chak nawagawa bakon, donk kiba nukunek, tanga boksha nagnong.
Understand that to use Force bonding to manipulate others is no easy task, even for one as powerful as Revan. To master, it requires a great commitment of time, patience, and a willing subject.
Selima wanga kunbikin.
Yes, you were the first, and arguably the greatest of Revan's manipulations. Over the course of the Mandalorian Wars, the Force bond Revan created between you allowed him to determine the lengths in which this form of bonding could be used as a tool of manipulation. Whatever its limitations, whatever its strengths, whatever its weaknesses, you suffered from all. And ultimately, it was this bond that transformed you from what was once my Padawan into a being so fanatically obsessed with adhering to Revan's will that everything else, even your very identity, was seen as insignificant and thus subconsciously discarded.
Shachika ton mulaka watayumaka wamahona nek. Ashantington unumani patoka. Wana kuna best chinga pala multonki. Ni bajoni yo lak wish. Dopayuma pasen lapti non goto.
The Force bond that Revan created between you, it became itself so central to your life that you became completely dependent on its continued existence to retain stability. And when Revan was incapacitated and the bond was suddenly broken, the shock of its loss was a horror beyond your ability to withstand. You could not grasp the concept of existing again as an individual, and so you lost consciousness. In truth, it should have killed you.
Hachu apanki. Jishawa anibong kasha. Chona si ichua byongbo joni. Minamambato mulera. Hakugri katkota parabola.
You were a test subject, and those were merely some of its consequences. Revan used what had been learned from your manipulation to help shape what became the Sith Empire.
Shagji kina lorcha watamwana. Kin kun shishikin. Nikin kun ban mulara jikun. Wama kun best. Ching pala mule. Tune rana nuprata. Donko searcha domatama?
Betrayal is the way of the Sith. In you, Revan had found a servant who would always be loyal.
Shachika ton mulaka watayumaka wamahona nek. Ashantington unumani patoka. Wana kuna best chinga pala multonki.
Yes, and it was that manipulation which, during the finality of the Mandalorian Wars, pushed you over the edge and past the point of no return.
Shachika ton mulaka watayumaka wamahona nek. Ashantington unumani patoka. Wana kuna best chinga pala multonki.
Do you remember, Shauna May? The field of battle, the screams, the explosions, the death. Do you remember the Battle of Malachor 5?
Tanga bok sha nak nong. Kin kun shin kin. Nikin kun na bule mule raji kun. Chuni yun ni jiji aldwana. Kava volpa muli kumana. Bona na kachu. Kicha badwang. Wanga kum kiba bu mulera. Kakin chak nawa gawa bakon. Donk ki ba nukunek. Tanga bok sha nak nong. Hachu apanki. Jishawa anibong ka sha chona si ichua byongbo joni. Minamambato mulera. Hakugri katgota parabola. Genchopa chawi tichok twis yun kun. Watuyama kama wona henak nek. Bugra shak kunti chiwa chawa. Dong abuk shami nonok. Kakin cha na kwat na bon kon. Wanakumbes chi pala mulek. Tong ki pa nagnonek. Tu nikton chun chun ki nemolek rabest. Wuf mala nibo kurk. Bona na kachu. Kicha badwang. Wanga kum kiba bu mulera. Kakin chak nawa gawa bakon. Donk ki ba nukunek. Tanga bok sha nagnong. Kakin cha na kwat na bon kon. Wanakumbes chi pala mulek. Tong ki pa nagnonek. Tu nikton chun chun ki nemolek rabest. Wuf mala nibo kurk. Rundi I chawa tong bola Johnny ku. Yumawama nibo lora waisha waga shichi. Kavadumpa kapaliamo na pata, bona nakachu. Yin kin kun no ba mule rachi kun, tong na bun shanuyang. Rundi I chawa tongbola Johnny ku, yumawama nibo lora waisha waga shichi.
The dark side is strong in this place. I can feel its power.